Hi, I'm Barrett Vickery. Thank you for joining me today for this yoga sequence. I really appreciate you being here, and I want to honor you for showing up and agreeing to do a little bit of work so that you feel better going into the rest of your day. Before we begin, again, I want to honor you for being here, for being a part of my own process. This is the first video that I've published teaching a yoga sequence, and so thank you for being a part of my process as I grow and try to become a better teacher through repetition and consistency teaching. With that, we can hop into the practice if you're ready. So go ahead and take a nice deep breath in through the nose, filling up your chest. Exhale. Take a nice deep inhale again. Really calming breathing. Take a nice deep inhale again. Only doing 3 of these. Exhale. So no matter where you're sitting, if you're in cross-legged position or you're in easy seat or sitting on a chair, wherever you are, go ahead and we're going to come into Melasma Squat or Garland pose. So me coming out of cross-legged, I'm going to undo my legs here and then have my, in a deep squat, your heels and your feet are on the floor and your heels are holding most of your weight. Hands coming to the center, and you can press on the inside of your knees to give a little bit more stretch to your hips. And if you haven't done this yet today, it could be a little bit tight, right? All these early poses could feel pretty tight to you, so we'll take it slow and we'll open ourselves up. Cool? Really good. We can move around a little bit here within reason, not going too crazy. Take nice deep inhales and exhales. Good. I'm a little bit tight, so I'm definitely feeling this one. Really good, guys. Okay, sweet. So we're gonna head into downward facing dog. I'm gonna go this way here. So in downward facing dog, you're pressing your chest and your shoulder blades towards your feet, towards your shins. And so I'm kind of pressing my chest through my shoulders almost. And then meanwhile trying to have my heels touch the floor and ideally keeping the back of your legs straight. As you notice in my pose, I have a fair amount of work to do and a fair amount of progress to make in my downward facing dog. I have a bit of an angle here, and it's hard for me to keep my heels on the floor. Keep breathing here, in and out. And the process is just continuing to do this until I train my body to open up. The reason for this is my tight posterior chain, my calves, my hamstrings, right? But yoga is for everybody, and every body is different. So no matter where you are is okay. It's good that you're here and practicing. Really good. Awesome. So from here, we're going to go into a low lunge. So I'm going to push my left foot up in between my hands. For you, it might be your right foot if you want to mirror me. And then my right foot, potentially your left foot, is coming backwards. Knee on the floor, top of the foot on the ground. And we're pressing our hip into the floor a little bit. You can put your hand on your low back just to feel that a little bit. You're not doing anything too crazy. You can also tent your fingertips on top of the floor here. Really good. Nice deep inhale and exhale. Getting into our hip flexor. Really feeling that opening stretch. Very nice. And just breathe. Continue breathing. Now from here, we're going to start to shift our weight back. My left foot, my toes are going to point to the ceiling. Heel rooted in the ground. For you, this might be your right foot. We're coming into a hamstring stretch here. Again, you can have your fingers tented, your hands tented up. Really good. So the ideal is to have your calves and your hamstrings feeling that stretch, and your other leg is stabilizing you. Make sure this toe here on the stabilizing leg, the top of your foot is facing down. Your toes aren't curled. Really nice. Just let yourself feel that. We're going back into downward facing dog. So we're moving forward again into the pose that we just came from. Let your stabilizing foot, toe tuck under, knee comes up to create space for your other leg to come back into your downward facing dog. Really good. And if you would like to let yourself pedal out a little bit, again, for one of those early down dogs, early in the practice, potentially early in the day, depending on when you're doing this. Really nice. And breathe in and out. So we're going to come back to our original pose, Melasma Squat. I'm going to go ahead and face the camera here. Wherever you are, it's fine. You can face the screen, probably is where you're facing, right? Melasma Squat, again, putting a little bit of pressure in between your knees and letting yourself breathe. Breathing into those hips. Really good. Breathing into your groin so that you're opening that up, kind of letting your nervous system release a little bit with the breath. Really good. Going into a low lunge on the other side. So whichever side you did first, now we're doing the opposite. Walk your hands over. Foot comes up in between your hands. I kind of did a mini kick. You can kick your foot back and bring it up in between your hands, or you can just go ahead and go straight there. For your supporting leg, again, you want to have your knee rooted into the floor with the top of your foot supporting. You can kind of set yourself and feel that stretch in your hips, maybe by putting your hands on your low back or top of your butt for a second, or you can come straight again into your tented fingers to hold yourself up here. And breathe. A lot of slow opening poses today for us. Slow poses like this can help to do the work that I need to do on my downward facing dog, which is to help lengthen the muscle and lengthen the ligaments and tendons. Really good. And going into our hamstring stretch, pressing back a little bit, starting to move backwards, heel rooted into the ground, toe facing the ceiling. Again, you can have your fingers tented or even your palms on the floor if you're that flexible and you can get there. Really good. Feeling it in your hamstring, the back of your calf. Again, not having your toes curled, having your foot on the floor, top of your foot rooted into the floor. Really good. And just breathe. Going into a downward facing dog. So head to the front of your mat, create some space for your front leg to drop back, and pressing chest back to your feet for downward facing dog. Pedal out a little bit. We're trying to find some of that really deep lengthening by pressing the chest towards your knees and letting your heels find the floor. And I'll let you guys know when my down dog looks perfect. It's probably not going to happen. So we're going to continue facing this way. We'll start with our right leg going into Warrior 1. So you can kick your right leg back a little bit, or maybe it's your left leg if you're facing the camera. And step forward. Almost had a little spill there. For Warrior 1, we want to have our back foot angled and also supporting probably about half or the majority of the weight of the pose. And then ideally we can have our hips facing forward here and shoulders and hips aligned facing forward. Arms straight up. So my arms are probably outside of the frame, but I just got perched fingertips, arms going forward, gaze going forward, life going forward. Really good, guys. Breathe in and out. Just going to drop your left palm, your right palm, my left palm, into Peaceful Warrior here. So we're just kind of dropping the left palm back, letting your left palm come backwards a little bit too. Coming into extended side angle, can switch this foot so that your front foot is intersecting as if there's an imaginary line in between your back foot here, and then your leading elbow in the leading direction of your body comes to the top of your knee as your fingers point towards the top corner of the room, the top corner of my screen here. Help, I'm trapped. Oh gosh, I can't do jokes. I'm not going to do jokes in here. Really good, guys. And almost like a rock star, I guess I am doing jokes, you're going to strum your guitar and come to center, almost like a Melasma Squat. We're going to have a deep squat for goddess pose, but we're not going all the way to the ground. Holding here. This is our heat building sequence. This is going to be a little bit challenging. That's totally okay. Embrace it. Really good. And now going to the other side, warrior one. Really good. So whatever the opposite leg of the one that you just did. I need to adjust my hips a little bit. There we go. Remember, you want to have your hips as close to possible in alignment, going in the same direction as your shoulders, so that you can get that nice stretch in your hip right there. Really good. And again, finding the pose that works for you, challenging yourself, but also not killing yourself, not punishing yourself for anything. Really good. Go ahead and let your left hand come back, practicing reverse cueing, and then for me, it's my left hand going this way, but for reverse warrior here, not putting too much weight on the hand that's top of your knee here. And then go ahead and let your leading elbow drop down to your knee, your leading knee, and then hand pointing towards the corner of the ceiling, keeping that nice straight line with your leg and your hand going up. Really good. And then go ahead and strum your guitar and rock out. Ah! Come into goddess pose. Cool. Embrace your inner goddess. Breathe in and out. I'm kind of like pulsing here, not on purpose. Really good, guys. Go ahead, take an inhale. Hands come to the center, slowly coming down into Melasma Squat. Let yourself can have a lazy Melasma Squat and kind of rest your legs a little bit at the bottom here. And breathe in and out. Really good. Awesome. From here, we're going to hop into our ground poses. So you get to lay on the ground, which is pretty sweet. Okay, go ahead and take your hands away from the center. Put your butt on the ground. We're going into a full body stretch. Go ahead and lay down. This isn't Shavasana yet, but it's pretty freaking sweet after doing that sequence that we just did. Go ahead and take your fingers and shoot them towards the sky here. Toes going towards the bottom of the room, opposite of your hands. So you're getting a full body stretch, focusing on your navel. So focusing on the center of your body, keeping your awareness there, and let yourself relax. Take 2 or 3 breaths here. Let the body relax on the floor. Really good. But we're not done yet. Taking you into half boat pose. So for this one, don't go yet, but we're going to lift our legs off the ground and our back off the ground so that the only point of contact with the ground is our butt and our tailbone area. Okay? Let's go ahead and take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, and come up, legs come up off the ground, arms come up off the ground, and holding here. See how flat you can get. And hold. Amazing core exercise, holding for 1 or 2 more breaths in, out. Last one in, out, and slowly come back down. Really good. Yay! Nice. All right, let your so knees come to the sky, heels directly under your knees. Really good. We're gonna get a small spine decompression twist in here. So let your knees fall to your left side, since it's the opposite of what I'm doing. Again, practicing my reverse cueing like a good yoga teacher. Let your knees fall to the side. You can put your hands behind your head if you would like. And knees come back to center. And then let them find the other side. If you would like to look the opposite way of your knees, you can do that as well. Could help you get a nice little decompression twist in both the lumbar, cervical spines. Nice. Come back to center. Heading into bridge pose. Bridge pose is when your shoulders are on the ground. We're going to send our hips to the sky. Remember, we always want to keep mobility in our neck. We never want to smash our neck on bridge pose. So with your palms to the floor, feet in the ground, go ahead and start to press your hips to the sky. Shoulders rooted into the ground, feet in the ground, on the ground rather. Melting into the floor, yes. Really good. And hold here. If you would like to have a block, should have mentioned this before, you can always put a block under your low back for supported bridge pose. This is a really good extension pose for our hips. We've done a fair amount of flexion, and if you're sitting down a lot, you're doing a lot of flexion in your hips. So it's really good. Go ahead and lower down. Awesome, guys. Take a nice couple deep breaths in. Coming into happy baby. Go ahead and grab your the bottoms of your feet. And then give yourself a little bit of pressure in the bottom of the feet. Let that weight pull your knees closer to the ground. You can also massage your back a little bit. Roll around. Really good. Awesome. Slowly come out of happy baby into our final pose, which could either be for you constructive rest, which is putting your feet together and then having kind of an open hip opening triangle if you would like, or if you like Shavasana, that's your fave, corpse pose, go ahead and lie down in that, whichever one you want to do. But from here, slowly let your eyes close. Take a nice deep inhale into the belly, in and out. Take a nice deep inhale into the belly and out. A few more breaths here. In out. Allow yourself to breathe normally. Send your body some gratitude for getting here and practicing a little bit with me today. Really good. There's likely sounds going on in the world around you. Just let them be without trying to label them or figure out where they're coming from. Just take nice, steady inhale and exhale. Awesome. Slowly find your way to a seating position here, waking up the body. Whether that's rolling over to your side and then coming up, or just doing a kind of roll up all at one time. Whatever works. Make your way to seated. Nice deep inhale and exhale. Really good. If your eyes are still closed, you can begin to slowly open them. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice today. I hope you enjoyed doing it as much as I enjoyed teaching it. Thank you for being patient with my process, developing into a better yoga teacher so I can both serve you and deepen my own practice on the path. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming. Have a wonderful day. Go ahead and make some more healthy choices. One would be hopping straight into a meditation after this, or more maybe a breathwork practice to help boost your results even more and get you feeling even better and even more clear-headed and ready for the rest of your day. Thank you again.